80-foot female megalodon, a living legend of the deep named Haichi, raised and expertly trained by the brilliant Jia Yiming within a protected reserve in the warm seas of Hainan. Stepping into the heart of the institute is Mac. Mac turns to the gathered team and introduces the man they've all been waiting for. This is Jonas Taylor, the man who has stared into the abyss, the only person to ever defeat a megalodon and live to tell the tale. Years have passed since the tragic death of Jonas Taylor's beloved wife, Suyin Zhang. In the wake of that profound loss, Jonas has devoted himself to raising her spirited teenage daughter, Mei Ying. Driven by vision and legacy, Jia Yiming has taken the reins of his father's company, acquiring full control with the powerful financial backing of the influential industrialist, Hilary Driscoll. Under his leadership, Mana One has pushed the boundaries of ocean exploration further than ever before. In a heart-stopping stunt, he showcases the immense power of Haichi, the colossal megalodon he personally trained. Now, Jonas and Jia Yiming prepare to lead a routine yet critical submersible exploration into the crushing depths of the Mariana Trench. The two men descend into the vast, silent ocean aboard separate advanced submarines as they venture deeper into one of the planet's last unexplored frontiers. Their mission, to chart new territories and unlock the secrets hidden far below. Unbeknownst to them, Haichi has escaped her confines, and the mighty predator is once again free to roam the open sea. Inside one of the subs, Mei Ying has secretly slipped aboard. A massive shadow emerges from the blackness. Haichi, the colossal megalodon, is upon them. What began as a routine dive has now become a desperate fight for survival. With adrenaline surging, Jonas and Jia Yiming race their submarines toward the thermocline, the only hope of shaking the relentless predator. Engines screaming, they plunge through the frigid layers of the ocean, but the giant beast stays locked onto them, relentless, unstoppable, a living nightmare cutting through the water like a silent torpedo. The tension tightens as the camera spins around the subs. Suddenly, multiple megalodons closing in from every direction. It's as if the ocean itself is calling them, drawing these ancient titans together in a terrifying convergence. The trench is no longer empty. It is alive, and it is hunting. Jonas makes a bold and dangerous decision. Instead of fleeing, they will follow. As they descend further into this primordial realm, these mighty megalodons have not gathered to hunt, they have come to mate. A breathtaking and terrifying spectacle on the ocean floor, a secret station, an illegal oceanic mining operation established on the sea floor. Commanding this outlaw base is the ruthless mercenary Montez, a man with a deep personal vendetta against Jonas Taylor. Montez and his heavily armed crew were secretly hired by the corrupt industrialist Hilary Driscoll. Their mission, to exploit Mana One's exclusive access to the trench and strip the ocean floor of rare earth minerals. Montez murders his own crew in a devastating explosion, determined to erase every trace of their illegal operation. Shockwaves tear across the ocean floor as the team's submarines are violently grounded, slamming into the jagged rocky terrain below. The survivors push their damaged vessels to the limit, racing ferociously through a deadly maze of underwater cliffs and razor-sharp rock formations. Jonas makes a fateful call. "We have only one option left," he declares. The team must abandon the subs and use the experimental emergency exosuits, armored diving rigs designed for the most extreme conditions. Suited up in the heavy high-tech exosuits, the team transforms into deep-sea warriors. Jonas takes the lead, guiding them across the hostile ocean floor, their powerful lights cutting thin beams through the infinite black. Every step is a battle against pressure, fear, and the unknown. Mac pulls DJ and Jesse aside. There is a mole among them, someone working against the team from within. Deep below, Jonas and his team press onward through the suffocating darkness, their hearts pounding as the abyss seems to close in around them. The team is suddenly ambushed by nightmarish lizard-like creatures, vicious snappers. The team breathes for a fleeting second until the water itself begins to tremble. Like gods of destruction, the massive predators surge into the station with ferocious power, tearing the entire facility apart in a whirlwind of teeth, fury, and unstoppable force. The ocean turns into a battlefield of ancient rage. Inside the shattered remains of Montez's secret mining station, the team stumbles vast chambers glittering with freshly extracted rare earth minerals. The illegal operation has been harvesting billions in resources hidden far beneath the waves. In a moment of hope, young Mei Ying manages to establish a weak signal, successfully contacting Mana One above. As they push deeper into the facility, Jia Yiming freezes, as advanced technologies unmistakably born from his own designs that should never have left Mana One. The team reaches the pod section, a cluster of reinforced escape chambers built into the heart of the mining complex. Suddenly, Jess, the trusted team member, reveals her true colors. She confesses her betrayal and activates a remote override, flooding the sealed container with torrents of icy seawater in a ruthless attempt to drown the four of them. In a heroic act of pure courage, Jonas throws himself into the chaos, fighting desperately to stop the deadly flood. Jonas slowly regains consciousness to Montez, standing over him. What follows is a brutal, savage showdown between two hardened warriors. Fists, elbows, and raw fury collide in the flooded chamber as years of hatred are finally unleashed. As he finally opens the hatch, saving them amidst the apocalyptic fury of the megalodon attack. With the mining station crumbling around them, and the surviving crew makes a desperate dash for the escape pod. In a heart-pounding race against death, They seal the hatch and launch into the black abyss, fleeing the collapsing nightmare behind them. As they ascend through the crushing depths, they burst through the thermocline only to witness a massive unnatural hole torn into the thermal layer, a gaping wound in the ocean itself that allows the monsters of the deep free passage into the world above. The battered crew surfaces near the Mana 1 platform. They scramble aboard the sprawling research complex, but safety is an illusion. DJ and Mac break free and run for their lives across the decks, only to be met with a hail of gunfire. Driscoll's elite mercenaries are in hot pursuit. Jonas and Juming take down the soldiers one by one, saving Mac and DJ in a storm of close-quarters combat. Meanwhile, Montez finally reaches the platform and reunites with his lover Jess as she urgently speaks with Driscoll over the comms, reporting their partial success. A megalodon surges from below, devouring Jess in front of a stunned Montez. Jonas and the surviving crew waste no time. They board a fast rescue boat and speed away from the blood-soaked chaos of Mana 1, their destination, a nearby tropical island looming on the horizon, a fragile promise of temporary safety. As they approach the island's bustling beaches, the megalodons strike with savage speed. Tourists waiting in the crystal shallows suddenly become prey. Screams erupt across the water as the massive predators tear through the recreational zone with terrifying ease. Jonas screams at the top of his lungs, "Get out of the water!" Jonas urgently points toward a sturdy lifeguard tower rising above the panic-stricken shore. "Maying, get to the tower! Hide!" he shouts. The once peaceful paradise transforms into a slaughterhouse of thrashing water, blood-red waves, and desperate cries. Hillary Driscoll sits alone in her escape helicopter. Sea creature suddenly smashes through the cockpit, killing Driscoll in a gruesome and terrifying instant. Jonas leaps onto a jet ski with steely determination. He roars across the waves, deliberately drawing the massive megalodons away from the crowded island. His daring plan is clear: lure the beasts far out to sea and destroy them in one final explosive confrontation. Meanwhile, DJ and Regas fight their way across the dangerous island terrain, desperately trying to call for help. They scramble through the jungle and concrete structures only to fall into the same deadly trap as Juming and Mac. Jonas engages one of the megalodons in a brutal visceral showdown. He takes down the monstrous predator in a hard-fought, blood-soaked battle. Back on land, Juming devises a risky last-second plan to lure the swarm of creatures away from a stranded helicopter. As he sprints through the danger zone, one of the beasts nearly closes its jaws around him. In that heart-stopping moment, Mac fires a flare gun directly at a nearby fuel tank, causing an explosion. Yet the danger refuses to end. Montez climbs atop a jet ski and opens fire, aggressively chasing and shooting at Jonas in a high-speed, deadly pursuit across the churning waves. A colossal giant octopus tentacles thrashing wildly washes ashore in a surge of seawater and sand. The beach, already a war zone, now faces an even more nightmarish threat from this ancient deep-sea leviathan. A massive megalodon lunges straight at Jonas, with jaws wide open. Montez is violently killed by the very monsters he tried to control. With the battlefield in total chaos, Juming charges forward, determined to take down the giant octopus. What follows is an earth-shaking, ferocious fight between two prehistoric titans, the multi-armed octopus versus a raging megalodon. Amidst this cataclysmic clash, the survivors watch in stunned awe as Jonas seizes a razor-sharp helicopter blade from the wreckage and drives it straight into the megalodon's gaping mouth. The exhausted men suddenly encounter Haichi, the mighty female megalodon. Juming calms and controls the enormous predator in a fascinating. Finally safe, the survivors stand together on the blood-stained shore, toasting to being alive after facing hell itself. And so, against impossible odds, they live to see another day. Thanks for watching.